Hello there, welcome to another exciting edition on the program Book2Art and Delta Television, the People's Pride. Always a delight to be here and always a delight to know that we have another great author that you certainly would want to meet now. Book2Art is put in place to ensure that that author, that fine artist, that sculptor that is not known is actually known. Yes, however it is, it must not be renowned. But the fact that you have this talent and you're exhibiting same in writing or in arts, you have the platform here to let them know who you are. You want to find out the mindset of it. Don't forget, art is key. It's more or less like life for some people, and then it is in place to mold, to teach. Now what you write is for people to learn, for people to be part of. Yes, our authors on the program, it's the profile and literary works. Now the profile, if you're just joining for the first time, is all about our guests we have at this moment, and then you get to know who he is. That is on the profile, and we meet our guest live on literary works, where we'll try as much as possible to delve into one of his works. For now, we will certainly take on the profile, but I must let you know that our guest today is a pastor, is a writer, is an author, if you want to use that word, but I like always to do it in simple terms. But let's meet our guest. He is no other than Pastor Precious Chukwudumebi Manasia, but we'll meet him on the profile, and then we get to meet him live on literary works. For now, is the profile. Pastor Precious Chukwudumebi Manasia is a senior pastor of the Easy Winners Assembly International, Abauno, Delta State. Pastor Dumebi was called by God from his mother's womb and trained under Dr. David Oyedepo in Canaan land, Ota, for the special task of delivering mankind from every imprisonment of the devil and restoring their destinies and dignity with the Word of God. He enjoys a very close relationship with God and his chosen servants, and carries out the assignment in humility and simplicity with signs and wonders. Since 2004, he has organized the Operation Heal the Nation Crusades, Olden Seminars, trainings and empowerment in various towns and villages across Nigeria, now registered as Precious Help Development Initiative, Build the People, Help the Nation. He also runs the Champions International Schools, Nursery, Primary and Secondary, a charity scholarship project to raise God-fearing students. His daily desire is to make Nigerians better. Pastor Precious Chukwudumebi Manasia is the author of Think Well and Live Well, Arise and Shine, taking Nigerians to their golden level in spite of the devil, and the No Sweat magazines. All these he gives out free at schools, churches, hospitals, markets, government offices. Pastor Pius Dumebi is the author of the book My Testimony. Pastor Precious is married to Israel, Pastor Mrs. Josephine Chukwudumebi, and they are blessed with 3 Hebrew girls, Treasure, Mercy Joy, and 3 Hebrew boys, Precious, Junior, Testimony, and Monachizo. Our guest today is Pastor Precious Chukwudumebi Manasia. Alright, that's our guest for you now, who is no other than Pastor Precious Chukwudumebi Manasia. He's a pastor and In fact, there's so many things about him that you want to learn, and I know that today you will be blessed meeting him. There's one thing to have, an author on set, and there's another thing, to have a pastor, as it were, who is also a writer. Let's meet our guest today on Literary Works, who fill the spot on his book, and of course, will be taking on his recent work, The Brothers and My Testimony. I'll be back in a moment. We want to welcome our guest on Book2Art. Is no other than Pastor Manasia. I like to call that. Pastor, it's a pleasure to have you.
Thank you.
All right, good to have you here. Now, this book, My Testimony. Remember how I met you, and I said to myself, no, this should be on my program, and that is because of the drive behind it. Now, we will look at this book. You've written other books from the program. You see that, but this is your recent work, yes. And it says My Testimony, and underneath you have How the God of Apostle Joseph Suleiman raised me from the dead. Yes, raised me from the dead. Okay, and now I want to find out more about your drive. You're a pastor and now you're an author. I mean, what pushed you into writing?
It's a part of it.
Okay.
It's because the same way that he has blessed the West, bless my hands. That's why he inspires me to write down, will equally be a blessing to his children out there. And like if you look books that I've written, there are a lot of testimonies from different parts of the world. As people are reading, they are tapping into what God has given, and they are blessed. It's just a part of the calling.
Okay, so it's just a calling. It wasn't like you wasn't like you said to yourself that you want to be a writer. It just happened that you started writing.
No, it just happened that I started writing. In fact, if I started writing Christian books, when I finally surrendered to the calling of God in my life, I'd already gone into writing of like movie stories, personal stories, written school books. I've written, in fact, in different areas.
So, besides your pastoral work, do you enjoy writing?
I do.
Is it because of the content of what you write, or just because you just want to write, or you just enjoy writing? Some people would say, well, I just love to watch movies, I have other kind of movies. So, is there a drive besides you just writing? I know something must really push me to write, and that is what I enjoy when I do my
The drive behind my writing talent is because it's my having people being blessed.
Okay.
That's through the Christian books, through my movie stories, whatever. Once I see that my writing is blessing people, I'm satisfied.
Now, this book itself, we have your recent work, My Testimony.
Yes.
How long did it take you to actually put this together?
It's shocking. It was during the lockdown.
Okay.
As the lockdown came, I just looked at putting up how God delivered me. I was afflicted with stroke.
Okay.
I was paralyzed head to toe, and God healed me. I refused to be taken anywhere. So God came down, as I said. He's the one that called me. I'm 14 years in ministry. That God should equally come and prove to the world that He's the one that sent me. So He came and healed me. And during the lockdown, I decided to put up my experience in a writing form, and have it bless people out there to know that this God we are serving is really alive and there with us.
Okay, now this book is it's a 94-page book, and it has about 6 chapters. I know the one runs almost the same, but has different content. We have the first one, The Brothers on the Call, And of course, we have another one, award for every believer.
Yes.
And there's another, the faith. The faith has different episodes,
yes.
but it runs into chapters. So I'd like to say that there's about 6 chapters and
yes.
other bits that would want to learn from. And now, this book is not, for me, I'd see it as a miracle book.
It is.
Because it's more of testimony. But I wanted to tell us more about the content of this book.
Yes.
What is, in summary, what is my testimony all about?
Okay. My testimony is the true life story of how God raised me from the dead.
Okay.
Like I said, I was afflicted with stroke and was paralyzed head to toe, and I refused to, before I stopped talking, when it happened, my face was at the back.
Serious?
I was paralyzed head to toe, everything in my head were gone, and before I stopped talking, well, 3 months.
For 3 months?
3 months, yes. Before I stopped talking, finally, I told my wife, my family, that I should not be taken anywhere, as people were suggesting. And so it was when God now saw my faith, and they came and took time to heal me. I was in my room where I was kept, believing God. People were praying, pastors were praying, and the grace of God, the man of God, Apostle Joseph Lehman, came for the Absaba Miracle Crusade, Open Heaven Crusade, and I was taking that at the Ego Square. So he ministered. He didn't touch me. He just spoke the word of God. I knew that God sent him for my sake. When I got home that night, about 1 a.m., that was on the 9th of October, 2019. I saw at 1 a.m. I saw light enter where I was sleeping. I saw the light come from the ceiling and engulf me. That just enveloped me, and before I knew it, my face that was at the back came back to the normal place. My mouth opened, my legs were healed, my hands were healed. I just, before my wife, it was the joy of my worship songs and my prayers and jumping up that woke my children, and they joined the session. To the shock of everybody. That was how I was.
And that was during the lockdown. The lockdown.
No, that was before the lockdown. Then it was during the lockdown that I wrote the book.
Okay.
My testimony. I put up everything that happened to me. I put it up in a book, and also added more testimonies of what God has used me to do in the lives of other people, and that's what to happen. The testimony.
So in a nutshell, my testimony is about, people that actually you've touched with the word of God. People you've touched, people you have actually healed one way or the other.
You are right.
And now that's what you have. It's not like they're just saying their own testimony somewhere else, but this is by you.
Yes.
Actually.
Yes.
Now, let's try and see. I want to feel the pause of this book. I want to go into the literary works. I like to go into it.
Okay.
If you agree with me. I want us to flip over to page 4.
Okay.
I did see this book. It's a 94-page book. Yes, a 94-page book. If you say it, it's very colorful. The cover, and it's written by Precious C. Manasia.
Yes.
Is actually graced in this moment as an author, and not just that, he's also a pastor. Now we want to flip to page 4. Let's fill this pause there, and I want you to do a bit of the reading, because you just said, well, it's because it's a calling from God, inspired to write. So I'd want you to read from page 4. I have the paragraph that resonates with you more.
Okay. There's this very striking encounter I had with God.
Okay.
After he called me, and for many years I resisted the call. I was so stubborn. But after about 26 years, God had to personally arrest me. And one of the encounters I had with him is on page 4, and I read from the third paragraph. It said, about 2 a.m. Okay, I said, I will never forget one night I came to the village, and after the usual visits to various drinking joints with friends, from beer parlor to wine bars to gogoro joints, I went home with one of my many girlfriends that I kept, and I slept. About 2 a.m. I was awoken from my drunkenness by a noise near my head on the pillow. I listened and tried to figure out if any girl sneaked into my room out of jealousy. The other girls that maybe I kept. And when the noise persisted, I stood up and put on my torchlight. And what I saw snapped out every form of drunkenness out of my head. Right there, right near my pillow, was a pure white lamb standing over my head and staring at me, sobbing. My first thought after the shock was that the witches have finally finished me, so let me kill this one that I've captured. As my mind went that way, I felt a very strong divine presence around me, sparkling cloud of glory engulfed the room, and I heard a soft voice, "It is me." I was visibly shaken as I dashed out and called my dad. He came and stood shocked at the sight. He looked at me for a long time and sighed as he muttered, God have mercy.
So this experience poured you.
Yeah.
And look, no, I must put it down. It's divine.
It did.
And you became scared. Everything you had in mind to do that day. So was that all?
Knowing that God was that close to me, but it made not put a fear in me. That now began to push me to finally yielding to the call. I actually was stubborn to this call. What is doing now? In fact, at the point he said that while I delayed, I deliberately was following the devil for about 26 years in my life. I said, let God just get tired of me, because what he was showing me was so large, and I felt that I was not the person.
Okay, I'll feel a pause on this on page 4 again, but I want to flip over so that I'll get to the mood of your writing style.
Okay.
The call, this is more like the first chapter.
Yes.
I'd want to read, if you permit me. Should I read?
Oh, yes.
Okay. The call. The big picture God was showing me almost every day as I knew my right from my left is that of an angel leading me through a very long hall with rooms left and right. The rooms had people chained head to toe and locked in cages, while the doors of the rooms had gates heavily padlocked. I saw people of different languages, male and female, black and white, and as they saw me, they were struggling and screaming, calling on me to help them. I still weep anytime I remember this, as the screams were so piercing with the cuts and wounds inflicted by the chains and the wicked jailers. As I asked the angel what I could do for them, he says, "You have the keys," unquote. But this is a people robbed and spoiled. They're all of them snared inside holes, and they're hid in prison houses. They are for prey and none delivered, for a spoil and none said, restore. That's in block letter, and that's taken from Isaiah 42 verse 22. I don't want to wrap it up as I think in the next paragraph. Then I saw a bunch of keys drop in my hands, all of them marked with various inscriptions: healing, deliverance, salvation, joy, prosperity, fruitfulness, victory, success, and lots more. As I was looking at the keys amidst the screams of the prisoners in their cells, the voice spoke, "I am sending you as my chosen prophet to deliver all those imprisoned by the devil and to restore their destinies and dignity with the word of God in your mouth. You shall turn failures into champions."
That's it.
But I didn't do badly.
That's it.
All right.
So much.
Now, when I was taking this, my eyes are kind of wet, more like I was getting a bit old spiritual, and that's what sometimes that's what the Word of God does when it's actually coming from the inside.
It is.
Now, the call, I wanted to speak to what I just read because for some persons it should make meaning. So, what's this all about, really?
Yes. When that picture of the people in prison changed. It was so. In fact, anytime I remember the picture, I still weep in my heart. Why? Because when I look at there, I see many people living just in line with what God showed me, and He kept saying that I should go out and do something about them and do something to help them. That He created me for this purpose, and when the ministry finally began, I see Him doing the work. I see people deliver. Die-hard Satanists give their life to Christ. I see people. I've seen in the administration the dead come back to life. terminal cases terminated all with ease. God just doing His work. People are blessed, breakthroughs here and there. And what have you? So
I noticed that this book, the day I saw you, you were giving out this book free to people.
Yes.
So is it that your work, you don't think about making means out of it? It's just free to give to people?
Yes.
Or it's based on for loan rebates? What you can, as if you want to do a token, like a gift, you can do that.
Yeah.
But it's actually free? You give it free to
yes.
people?
Yes. Already, my ministry is virtually charity.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, so both the Easy Owners Assembly, the church, and the Champions International School. It's a free educational program.
It's free.
Nursery, primary, secondary, by the grace of God.
It's yours as well, so it's yours?
Yes, by the grace of God.
Okay.
Yes, and also my Precious Help Development Initiative. All these things I'm doing. Just to
for a moment, when I saw that help, when I was going through your profile, I thought maybe there was an error, so I went like, help?
No.
I did that voiceover like twice. I went like, help? I said, no,
it's
I think it's help you're trying to say that.
Yes, I tried to Nigerianize it.
Okay.
Yes, help. So most of my works, the drive is to have people being blessed through them. So I don't wait for them to come and buy. Most of the time I give it out. It doesn't stop anyone from being a blessing to the work.
Okay, now as a pastor,
yes,
and an author that you are, and you do this for free, what do you expect? What message are you sending out to others who are authors as well, and maybe they are also pastors like you?
Yes.
You're doing this for charity.
Yeah.
How will you speak to pastors out there who are also authors like you?
Yes, the message that God has given to you is to bless somebody.
Okay.
And not until you meet that person, the message will not go down.
Okay.
So my own is, however you meet the person, it could be by giving out this book. There are people that God will still use to be a blessing to this project. And that person will still get in touch with you. But majorly, whoever God has sent you to, my administration, the people that come for prayers in the church, he gave it to me freely. And by God's grace, I give it out to people freely. It's not getting people to come and begin to line up to buy and whatever. I want to see them receive it and want to see them blessed.
God bless you. God bless you again and again and again, because I know that certainly would have more words from you. This is just about the recent, and I know we're still expecting more.
Yes.
And I want to believe that if you do not believe in testimonies, this is a moment for you to look at, and then you know certainly that there is God.
Yes.
And He's saying it because letting you know this is for you to know that He was also healed, and that spurred him into writing. That's about it on the program.
Yes.
I appreciate you for coming.
Thank you so much for having me.
I will not let me read all that. I want to read everything again and again. But I'd like to say thank you again. God bless you. Keep up the good work.
God bless you for having me.
This is Book2Art. We'll be back again on Wednesday, right at 10:30 on Delta Television, the People's Pride, to join us again.
Meet Delta Television Asaba, 10 a.m. every Wednesday. Do the ads, stay smart.